Hello friends, my name is Ramasu. Today we shall discuss about topic the manage stakeholder engagement. Friend, today's topic is very interesting, especially if you have interest in project management or you are planning to give exam of PMP in near future. So let's start. First of all, I would request to please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the bell option as well, so that my new videos can reach to you, and also you can follow me on the Facebook page as well. Basically, friend, stakeholder is a knowledge area as defined by PMBOK guide, project management body of knowledge, and it's a very important knowledge area. Why? Because we all knows that if you can manage the stakeholders properly, you can successfully complete the project as well. If you fail to manage the stakeholders of your from the customer side or internal, so obviously the project will never be as successful. Stakeholder is basically a person who has a positive or negative stake or interest in a project. He can be an asset, he can be a problem for a project. Asset, that means if he is thinking he is getting some benefit, so obviously he will be a asset if he is getting some benefit from the project. If he think that after the implementation of the project, for example, his some product will be removed in case of implementation of a project, so obviously he will become a problem or a roadblock in the implementation of a project. Manage stakeholder engagement. Whenever we talk about engagement, basically we are talking about involvement of a stakeholder in a project. Manage stakeholder engagement means that you are managing means that, for example, you have to think, you have to take action, that how your stakeholders are involving in the during the implementation of a project. For example, what expectations they have from the implementation of a project, what requirements they have, what issues they are facing, what problems they are facing in the implementation of a project. For example, whatever the problems they have, you must have to ensure that their problems, their issues should be addressed properly and should be resolved as well. Let me give an example here. For example, you are implementing an ABC project, and like XYZ stakeholder has some requirement. You have noticed that the XYZ stakeholder has appropriate requirement, but it was not added in the scope document due to certain reason, and you observed that this stakeholder will make a problem at the end of the during the implementation of a project. Why? Because his requirement is not added. So you can discuss, you can analyze that whether this requirement should be added or not. If this requirement should not be added due to some reason, then you can talk with that particular stakeholder, have a meeting with them, talk with them that why this requirement is not added, or if you analyze that this requirement should be added in the scope document, then you can talk with the scoping person that this requirement should be added because it has some priority, and if this requirement not added in the project, it will create problem, or you can say it will obviously become a change required at some later stage. So basically, manage stakeholder engagement means that managing the involvement of stakeholders in terms of expectations, requirements, issues, problems, or roadblocks, etc. For we knows that PMBOK guide has defined the inputs, tools, and outputs for every process. For this process, the first input is the project management plan. That means the project specific planning has been included here. Project documents like the issue log, the stakeholder register, etc. So these are the project documents. In one, enterprise environmental factor is another input. That means the culture of the organization, organizational process assets means the policies, procedures, any past documents like the stakeholder register, the issue logs, the lesson learned documents, etc. So all these are the organizational process assets here. The tools which we use for this process, first one is the expert judgment. That means you take an advice from the domain experts that how to manage the stakeholders here. This is very important. Then communication skills means, friend, that talk with them, with the stakeholders, have a meeting with them, try to understand their problems, expectations, requirements, what they are feeling, what they have problems, and why they are not interested, why they are not involving in the project, etc. So basically it's all about the communication. Means that verbal, non-verbal cues, definitely clues you will get when we talk to them. For example, if they are angry, so you can definitely get an insight, get an idea that they are not happy with the implementation of a project. For example, interpersonal and team skills mean that the connections, the links, the references, it's all very important. Then ground rules. Ground rules mean every organization has some ground rules. That means their the actual situation of the company, of the implementation organization. Meeting mean having conference meeting with the customer, with the internal stakeholders, sitting with them, talking with them. So it's all about meetings as well. Manage stakeholder engagement. The output of this process, first one is the change request. That means when you talk with the customer, you realize that, for example, these are the change requests which must have to be taken in the scope document. This is very, very important, this is necessary. So change request means that the variation from the agreed scope of work, it should be considered as a change request, and once the change request will approve, it will obviously it will become a part of the scope and the requirement specification. Okay, so first output is the change request. Then project management plan updates. Project management plan update means the for example, project schedule, project management plan updates will document here, will involve here. Then project documents include like stakeholder register can be updated here, issue log, assumptions, constraints. All these types of document can be updated as a result of manage stakeholder engagement. So friend, just remember from here these three terms: manage, stakeholder, engagement. Manage means managing the expectations, requirements, issues, problems, the shows, roadblocks of the persons. Stakeholder means the person who have positive, negative interest in the project, and engagement means the involvement in the implementation of a project of a person. Okay, so this is a high level definition, you can say, of manage stakeholder engagement. So friend, thanks a lot for watching the video. I hope you like this video. If you like it, please share it with your friends and colleagues, and thanks a lot for watching the video.